All right, we are live. Hey everyone, happy Monday out there. If you are not a fan of Mondays, well, I apologize for saying happy Monday, and I will choose to grieve with you on this first day after the weekend. But I do welcome you here. I thank you for joining me. We don't look like we have any viewers yet, but that's cool. That's fine with me. I'm sure we'll have some people pop in here in a few minutes, and if they don't, that's fine too. We're just going to sit here and chat for a while. It looks like, well, I'm sorry, we have 5 watching now, it looks like. Live stream doesn't agree with me, but that's okay. Thanks for joining me. Hey, sound off in the chat. Let me know that you're here. Vanessa is here. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Tom's here as well. Hi, all. Probably won't make it to the end. Got to go around 6:30. That's about an hour from now, I think. So, yeah, probably the last little bit isn't going to be around. That's just dandy. Thank you for being here, Tom. Thank you for being here, Vanessa, and whomever else is here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I tried to change the lighting in here to accentuate my my fire, but these are not very, shall we say, lit. But they are working, as you can see. I don't know if you can see. You can see that they are working, but I don't know. It's a cheap knockoff. I know. I'm sorry. But I'm sure you'll get over it. Fee is here. Hello, hello. Good to see you. Appreciate that. All right. Well, without further ado, the weekend. Man, goodness gracious, me oh my, a lot went on this weekend. We had a very busy weekend. Fire. Yes, my fire is over there. It represents fire. It is not fire. It is a representative of fire. So that's what we'll call it. It's a candlelight chat. No, fire ish. Anyway, wow. So much has been going on this entire weekend. I'm going to throw Friday in on that weekend chat. I know technically, I mean, I guess kind of Friday is the first part of the weekend, although it's not the first day of the weekend. It's where the week ends, right? And then Saturday and Sunday is traditionally known as the weekend. Some would, I guess, debate that Sunday is the beginning of the week. It is not the end of the week, but some others might contend that Monday is the beginning of our work week. So that does make Sunday and part of the weekend. Whatever. I'm going to throw a whole bunch of stuff in there. So going on from Wednesday through Sunday, we had 1, 2, 3. We had 3 events that we hosted. The last one is less of an event and more just we had some friends from OMAC over after the event on Friday night. So the Saturday, the third event doesn't really happen. But then Sunday also held a number of different things. We went to church in the morning, and then I was serving on the team on Sunday at church on the Connect team. Then we also, attended service. Then we went to go eat lunch, and then we came back home, and I was editing videos. And then at about halftime, I was done editing a video, so I stopped and watched the last half of the Super Bowl. And then after that, we watched some episodes of SWAT on Netflix, and then Jess went to bed, and then I edited another video. So it's been a very eventful weekend. And so I thought it would be cool to just kind of sit back, chill, and just reflect on it. And I'd like to hear what you guys did over the weekend as well, so we can talk about that. But I'll start off, and hopefully by the end of my reflection, there we go. I was looking for the word. At the end of my reflection, then we will come back to chat, and hopefully you guys will have some more things that we can reflect on as a group. And we will talk about it. First things first, I'm just going to talk about the events that we've been doing. So we've started what our church calls a city group. And a city group is really, I mean, I guess it's kind of like a Bible study, but it really kind of isn't like a Bible study. It is, we call them city groups because it's where we do life together. And it's kind of one of those things where it's more of a social event than it is a Bible study event. Now, will we open the Bible sometimes during that? Yes, we probably will. Will we always? Probably not. Did we last week? No, we didn't. So you kind of get the idea of where we're going. And this was our first one. So it was the first time that we had the whole group over at our house. And we had all together, with us, we had 17 bodies in our house. And the reason I say it that way is because I think there were 13 adults, and I think there were five. There were five kids, including Aiden. Daphne and Dante were both. Dante was at youth group, and Daphne was basically hanging out with a friend until Dante was done with youth group so she could pick up. So she was being a taxi, basically, which we appreciate. However, we had about 17, 18 people in our house, and it was not the first time we'd had, because it was the first time we had people that weren't part of our family over to the house, and or family, and it was very cool indeed. I could not stop thinking about, after everybody left, how much of a good time it was. And it wasn't because it was woohoo, party, it wasn't like that. It was just good conversation, good camaraderie, just that good feeling of, these are some people that are hopefully going to turn into some really good friends here in the Valley. Not that we don't have good friends. Don't get me wrong. I've got some super good friends here in the Valley. JT and Mel, definitely our family. But we're wanting to kind of expand that sphere of influence, if that makes any sense. Not that we feel the need to influence other people, but we want other people influencing us too. So it was a really cool thing. And Jess, if you know anything about Jess, you know that she is a host, a hostess, a host, whatever you want to call it. She loves putting those kinds of events together, and she's really been missing it. So this has been a really cool opportunity for her to step back into one of those kind of God-given abilities that she has, and really expertises, not just abilities. She rocks at it. So anyway, that was a really cool thing on Wednesday night last week, and then Thursday was kind of a break. And then Friday we did something a little bit different. JT usually comes over on Fridays to do the live streams and that kind of stuff, but we did something a little bit different. He came over earlier than he usually does, and we recorded 2 top 10 lists. And the reason we redid that is because we were doing something on the Dice Tower. I'm pretty sure everybody knows now. If you don't know, the Dice Tower just got through with their Kickstarter campaign for the year, and I was one of the stretch goals. And bringing me back on part-time for the Dice Tower was one of the stretch goals. And they reached that stretch goal just barely, like by the skin of our hair on our chinny chin chin. That's how close we came to not making it, but we made it. And so they have brought me back on part-time. And so one of the videos that we're going to be making every week on the Dice Tower, I'm having JT and others join me on this from time to time, and it's called the Bottom 5. And that sounds like a negative thing, but it's not. It's just the bottom 5 of the top 10 that we're doing. So we're doing a bottom 5 on Fridays on the Dice Tower, and it's basically just the bottom 5 of a top 10 list, so basically 10 through 6 of a top 10 list that we've recorded, and then the top 5 from that top 10 list that we recorded will be on right here on the Flipside on the following Monday every week. So we recorded 2 of those so that we could kind of get ahead of the game a little bit here at the beginning. So we recorded our bottom 5 and top 5, well, our top 10 games with dragons in them, and then we also recorded our top 10 games from 2007. And those will be split up into 4 videos, 2 of which will show up on the Dice Tower, and 2 of which will show up here on the Flipside. But of course, you can go watch all of them. It doesn't matter to us. We want you to watch all of them. We want you to go over to the Dice Tower and watch those, and we want you to come back here to the Flipside and watch the top 5s as well. So we recorded that first off, and then after that, we recorded a well, we didn't record. We did a live stream of First Rat, and that was a fun game. That was, I think, the 4th or 5th time I'd played the game, but it was only the first time, and I think it was the 2nd or 3rd time that JT and Jess had played it. But it was the first complete game for either of them, for both of them, and it was the 2nd complete game for me. And the reason for that is because all of the other plays came on the Dice Tower cruise, and there are certain time constraints, and we thought we could get it done before dinner started at least twice, and we were wrong. So we had to stop. We got about 2/3 of the way through each of those games, but we just weren't able to finish. But we were able to finish it on Friday, and such a fun game. Looking forward to reviewing that later on this week, right here on the Flipside, so that we're going to do a live review this week of First Rat right here on the Flipside. So that'll come up later on this week, probably. I don't know about tomorrow, because tomorrow I've got to take good old Strider to the vet. He's got a thorn or something in his paw that's bugging him in. He's okay, but we tried to get him in today and they couldn't, so they said we can get him in at 9 o'clock tomorrow. I don't know how long it's going to take, so it shouldn't take too long. I get it, but I probably just going to do a live play of some kind tomorrow, and then Thursday we will do a. Thursday we'll probably do it. Well, Wednesday maybe. Wednesday or Thursday we'll do a live review of First Rat. So you can come check that out. And then after that, we had to basically leave and go pick up the kids from school, and we hung out at Jesse's work for just about half an hour to 40 minutes, and then we headed over to Steamers West, where we were hosting a game event at Steamers West. This is something that we do every month, the 2nd Friday of the month. And we had an absolute blast. An absolute blast on Friday night. JT and Mel came with Hawken, their son, and they were playing Greek Horrified Monsters at one point. I think they played something else as well. I was able to run a game of After Us. I played, kind of half ran a game of Cascadia Landmarks. And basically those were the 2. I taught people how to play a game of Splitto from 25th Century Games. That was good. We also had Rummikub being played. We had Mice and Mixsticks being played. We had Cheese Thief being played. We had Splendor being played. There was another game called New Kingdom Gardener or Kingdom Gardeners that a new friend of mine from Spokane brought over. It was his game. Jack, I have it written down in my phone because, let me see, Jack Dunn. I want to say Dunbar, but that could be wrong. Where is it? I know I put it. Did I not? I must have. Come on. Maybe it wasn't Dunbar. Yep, there it is. Jack Dunbar. I was right. Hey, how about that? My brain is working well today. So Jack Dunbar, he's the designer of Kingdom Gardeners, and that was a cool thing to meet. I didn't get to play his game, but we did connect, and hopefully we'll have him over to the house and to more game days after we get in touch with him. But that was a good thing. And so Friday night was a blast, man. It was a stinking blast. And then Saturday came up. We did our talk. We did our live Q&A in the morning like we normally do, 9 to about 11 o'clock, 10:45, 11, something like that. And we did that. And then about 11:30, around 11:30 to noon, Doug and Emily, they're friends of ours that we met them. He's been a Dice Tower fan for a while, and then he's been watching the Flipside as well. And we met. They started coming to the game nights. They've been to 2 out of the 3 that we've held. And whenever they live about, I think it's about 3 hours north in a town called Omak. And so whenever they come down, they stay in a hotel. And then the Saturday afterwards, they just come over to the house and play games. And so this wasn't really an event per se, but they taught us how to play the Fox Experiment. What a delightful little game. I super enjoyed that. It was, I believe, it has the moniker of being the most played game on the Dice Tower cruise, or one of them. I can't remember if it was the most played or just one of the most played games of the Dice Tower cruise. But boy, did we enjoy that game. I love dice rolling, and this kind of dice rolling isn't as heavy on, oh crap, I got a bad roll. Now you can always do something cool with the dice rolls that you get. And the longer, as the game goes on, you're rolling more dice, which I really enjoyed that as well. So it kind of eases you into that whole dice rolling mechanism that it has, and I liked that. I also like being able to name your own pups as you're breeding these or foxes. I don't know. I don't know what the correct plural of that is, but anyway, I was given all of my fox pups, Viking names. I had Thorbjorn on there. I had Björn was another one. I had Lagatha was another one. Ivar was another one. Freya was one. So I was just going to town with that, and I thought that was pretty fun. So the Fox Experiment is great little game. I hope that I'll be able to get to play that again soon. I want to explore it a little bit more. I really enjoyed it. Doug did a good job teaching it too. So Just enjoyed it as well. So that was a very cool thing. And then we played Osta with the Pirates expansion after that, and that was a game and a half time-wise. I'm really a fan of Ostia. I don't know if I like the entire expansion for Pirates. I do like the expansion. I think it's a good expansion. It adds a cool theme into it, adds cool things that you can do into the game, but it also adds some time. As far as I can tell, I've only played it a few times now, but it seems like the expansion just adds some more time into it. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. I want to play it again and see how it goes. But foxes is the correct plural. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate that. So Saturday was a blast. And then Saturday night, we didn't really do anything. We just kind of chilled. Sunday morning, got up, served on the Connect team, went to church, went to Aiden's mom has been kind of under the weather this past week, so he hasn't, and it was her last week of having him, so he hasn't been able to spend a whole lot of time with her. So we dropped him off after church at her house so that he could watch the Super Bowl with her, and then we went home. I worked on editing those top 10, bottom 5 and top 5 lists that are going to be going up on the Dice Tower and on Flipside here in the next couple of weeks. And then we watched the Super Bowl and some SWAT, which that's kind of our favorite show to watch together right now. We're not super invested in it. We probably watch it once or twice a week, and we maybe do 1 or 2 episodes each time we watch. So we don't spend a whole lot of time doing it. But it's kind of like the kids are kind of in their rooms about to go to sleep, and we're about to go to sleep, and it's just kind of our chill down, our cool down time. So, but it's a really neat show, and it's got a lot of things make you kind of think about stuff too. So it's like downtime, but it's also like, that's kind of scary, because it's all about what SWAT gets called out to do, and I know it's not absolutely like accurate in all aspects, but some of this stuff is based on reality, and it's kind of like, wow, man, people are scary sometimes. Anyway, alrighty, so let's see what we got here. Vanessa played games Saturday and Sunday, she said. Tom says he played games Friday evening and Sunday until about the fourth quarter. You wait until the fourth quarter? Man. Vanessa says, I also attended a retirement party on Friday. Oh, that's cool. We have a Super Bowl game night. Oh, so you don't even... So do you like... Jeremy, you don't even watch a Super Bowl. You're like, let's just play games. I can see that. That's not a disparaging comment. I can see that happening. I mean, I basically didn't watch the first half because I was editing videos. So I can see playing games instead of watching. That's not a slight. Timon is here. Hello, Timon6219. Good afternoon. Bigger Ben is here. What's up? Hello. Ryan Moore played Horrified, American Monsters, Raw, and Just Desserts this past week. I still say the first 2 Horrified games feel samey to me. They're both fun, though. All right. Well, I can understand that, Ryan. There's not a whole lot of difference between the first and second. I like American Monsters better because I like the cryptid monsters that are in it more than the universal monsters that are in the classic version. It just seems more kind of like Americana to me than the original game does, and that's a draw for me. Does it play pretty much the same? Yep, it certainly does. But the differentiation comes for me where you have the different monsters in there. And I think that the monsters that are in American Monsters are just more divergent, I guess, in how you have to beat them than the ones in the other. It doesn't mean that I'm right. That's just the way it seems to me. It doesn't really mean that, I'm going to be absolutely accurate in that statement. Now, with that being said, Greek monsters, for me, is even another step away from that classic. In other words, I like the differentiation that you have in that game as well. What I wish you could combine. I wish you could take Greek monsters, play with the Minotaur, Dracula, and Bigfoot, all in one game. I would love to be able to do that. I don't think you can, because some of those places need certain aspects from each of the different games. So that's my one big strike against Horrified right now, is that you really can't, you know, cross-populate the different games. They're not cross-populate, but I guess that's the only way that's going to come up. Nothing else is coming to mind. But which SWAT show, the newer one or the one from the 70s, 80s? The newer one. That's based on the one from the 70s/80s. I really enjoy all the Horrified games, but I think the order in which I would put them right now is American Monsters, Greek Monsters, and then the Universal Studios Monsters. Let's see here. I got the print and play version of Kingdom Gardeners, but haven't played it yet. Oh, okay. Well, he had a copy there. I didn't get to play it because I was busy teaching a 6-player game of After Us, and I'm going to be talking about that on a smorgasbord segment contribution. I think this week. So on the next episode. So tune into that over on the Dice Tower. Tom says, we have Fox Experiment, haven't played it yet. I would highly recommend you to play Fox Experiment, Tom. I think you will enjoy it immensely. Doug had his like deluxe Kickstarter edition that had all of the little Bakelite tiles instead of the cardboard tokens, and it was really nice, really enjoyable. But I don't think you need all of that flashy stuff in order to enjoy the game. Don't get me wrong. I just thought it was cool that he had all that extra stuff in there. But the game is really fun, so I highly recommend it to you, Tom. I'd push it up on your priority list if you can. Tom asks, would you back Pirates on Kickstarter if you didn't have it already? That's an interesting question. See, I don't know that Ostia is a game that I would back anyway. For my personal, if I saw it on a shelf somewhere, I also don't know that I would pick it up, because it does not have the kind of look that I'm usually drawn to in a game. It does have some really cool bits, though. Don't get me wrong. I think all of those little buildings, even though they don't really do anything, the fact that all of those different sculpts and shapes are in the game, I think that's great. The fact that they're just wood, awesome. I think that's neat as well. I don't dislike the look of the game, but I am not drawn to the look of the game, and as such, I probably would not back it just because. Now, if Pirates were part of the game, Pirates expansion does inject a little bit more color into the board. This is one of the things that I even talked about with Rise of the Necromancers. When we saw Rise of the Necromancers when I was still with the Dice Tower, the first time we got it in, I took one look at the board and I was like, not interested, because it was so monotone and so blah blah blah. I had no inclination to play it at all. And so when I actually did play it, I was like, oh crap, this is a really fun game, actually. This is actually really fun. I still think that the board is very bland, but the gameplay is really cool. And that's kind of the same boat that I'm in, no pun intended, with Ostia. If I were judging Ostia just on looks alone, it would definitely get a hard pass from me. But the gameplay has been rather engaging, and I think it's weighted at 2.8 on the Geek, which is high for Jesse to be able to enjoy it, not to grasp it, not to be able to play it, but to enjoy it. It's kind of high, and she was right on my heels. As a matter of fact, so close that I thought she was going to win on Saturday, and we were the two that were more experienced. We had both played it a few times. And then Doug and Emily had never played it before, so they were still kind of getting used to how all the mechanisms worked and all that other kind of stuff. So they came in third and fourth, and Jess and I came in first and second. I came in first, and Jess came in second, but we were only about, I think, 20 points difference. And I thought she was going to be the winner by at least a little bit. Because she was doing really well at everything she was trying to do. So that's another cool thing about Ostia. With just a couple of plays, my wife, who is usually not... Am I bothering you, sir? Are we in your way? Did you get it? Did you get the itch done? Did you get the scratch itched? You did? Yeah? Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Get that scratchy done. Sorry, he was just being a little bit too loud. But he got his itch done, so he's a good boy. Anyway, one of the cool things that Ostia has going for it, from my experience at least, is that it has a lot going on, but it's relegated. All of those things are relegated in such a way that each and every bit is very palatable. So it takes a while to teach how to play the game, but after that teach, everybody understands, at least on a foundational level, how to play the game. And so if you take a little bit more time in the explanation part, everybody else can usually play the game without very many questions from there on out. And I think that's been a positive experience for Jess. So to answer your question, if I was just going on looks alone, no, I probably wouldn't. But now that I've played the game and I understand how the game plays, it's one that I would at least think about. I would at least think about it, because it has a lot going for it that most games like it don't. Most games like it are just too complicated for Jess to enjoy it. Not too complicated for her to be able to play and understand it, but for her to enjoy it, it's just too much. We're kind of the opinion that around 2.5 on the Geek. If it says it, and I understand, I'm not putting too much weight in behind the complexity ratings of the Geek, but using that as a litmus test, usually 2.5 is where Jess starts not having fun. She still can play, but she's not having fun anymore. And for this one to be a 2.8, almost a 2.9, and her still enjoy it, that's a positive thing for me. So to answer your question, Tom, by looks alone, probably not. After having played it and understanding it and understanding how I would think about it. I'll put it that way. Let's see here. Jeremy Slack is from Cleveland. Is that right? We have a Super Bowl game now. Oh, he's from Cleveland. Okay, I got it. That's why. Yeah, so it would be fun to interplay horrified games. I agree with you, Tom. I really think that would be fun. The game was on in the background, Vanessa says. I only caught glances of it and didn't really care. I went home during the halftime show and proceeded to watch no more of it. Well, I get that. Hello, longtime fan of yours, Stupid Rad Creature says, and happy to see you in the area. Live on the east side out here, enjoying the Flipside. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Well, if you are in the area, second Friday of every month, we have a game night here at a local coffee shop here in Wenatchee, downtown Wenatchee, and you are absolutely welcome to join us if you can make it. Let's see. Howdy, howdy. David Brownlee is here. We have Ostia already. Okay, well, okay, I get that. All right, well, let's go down to the Pirates expansion then. So the Pirates expansion adds, first of all, Pirates at all of the ports. Well, all of the not initial ports. Let me put that. So you put black sailed Pirates on the leftmost, and then you put red-sailed Pirates on the rightmost of all of the non-initial trading ports. So that's one thing. And what you basically have to do is you have to repel the pirates before you can actually sail past them. So there's that. Then on top of that, they also add some event tiles in there. So the event tiles and treasure chests. So whenever you defeat a pirate, you get to take 1 or 2 treasure chests. 1 treasure chest for the black sails, 2 treasure chests for the red sails. Once a number that's determined by the player count, once a number of treasure chests has been taken, an event happens. And the events can be, basically you're looking to see who has the most and the least of something. Whether it's wild animals, exotic animals, treasure chests, ships built, buildings built, those kinds of things. And you either have to, you're either able to lose a dishonor cube or gain a dishonor cube. Dishonor cubes are entered into the thing based on a couple of different things. It's kind of modular. I guess you could use, I don't know that you could use the expansion modular, but it does have several modules that in it. And so one of the modules is hometowns, or rather home cities, and supporters. And so they're split up into pairs randomly, and those couples give you a number of dishonor cubes that you start the game with. And those dishonor cubes are minus 7 points at the end of the game each. So, but you have chances throughout the game to get rid of those, and sometimes you will gain some of them. So it's kind of like the designer's note in the rulebook says that you normally will not be able to get rid of all of them, so don't spend your time trying to get rid of all of them. With that being said, I think Jess and I both got rid of all of our dishonor cubes, which is another reason why that I think we won, because we didn't have any negatives for the dishonor cubes. Both Doug and Emily both had significant subtractions from their score based on dishonor cubes. So that's part of the thing. It also adds in another place where you can put your buildings. Instead of putting your buildings on your board, you can put them out on a Roman buildings board, which will give you different kinds of rewards throughout the course of the game. It might give you a new legionnaire. It might give you, a free legionnaire. It might give you a free boat. It might give you a free building. It might give you more points for this or more points for that. It's whatever. But you basically, instead of placing your building when you build it on one of the spaces on your player board, you place it over there on this other one, and it gives you a bonus. It also brings into the fact legionnaires. You can hire legionnaires to help you fight the pirates. It also adds weapons as another resource that you can use, also used to fight the pirates. But everything else in the game pretty much stays the same. And all it really does is it gives you a lot more stuff to do, but because you have to fight the pirates before you can land in all of those ports, and again, it's only 8 ports in the game. The rest of the ports, the rest of the spaces on the board you can go to freely, but some of those spaces that are like, the transit tiles and the discovery tiles and all that, you have to sail past them, and if sailing past them takes you to a port, you have to be able to fight those pirates. If you can't fight the pirates, you can't sail that way. So it kind of acts as it kind of gums up the system a little bit in that way. Not unnecessarily, it's a thematic gumming up. You have to be able to fight the pirates in order to get through. So I like everything that the expansion does. I don't know that I would play. I don't know how often, rather, I would play with all 4 players. Because with all 4 players, the expansion, I think, adds about an hour to the game. And I don't think that it's not fun hour, but it adds an hour. You know what I mean? Because, again, I've said it once, I like everything that the expansion does. So the question that you would have to ask yourself is, do I like everything that the expansion does enough for me to not care that it adds an hour to the game? that's where the decision would lie. So that's about the best I can do as far as an answer to that question. Not board game related, Ryan Moore says, but do you mind sharing what the sermon was about on Sunday? I'm always interested in what preachers are preaching about across the country. Well, Pastor Josh was our lead pastor, Pastor Josh McPherson, was just on he was invited last week to be on the Glenn Beck show, and basically the main question that Glenn Beck asked him was, what does the Bible have to say, or does the Bible have anything to say about everything that's going on right now in our country? And I would invite you to go watch that episode, whether you're a fan of Glenn Beck or not. I think it's I know he's kind of polarizing in many circles. So I'm not really endorsing Glenn Beck or the show in general or anything like that. What I'm saying is that our pastor was invited, and so he took the opportunity to do that. Traveled down to Dallas last week and took our assistant pastor Adam with him. Also took. They each took 2 of their kids with them, and their older kids, and it was a great time for them. But anyway, so this Sunday was kind of a reflection on that week. We've been going through. We just had a big building campaign come through, and ever since then. Our whole pastoral staff has been kind of really, let's not just gloss over this. This is stuff that we need to kind of focus on and think about and pray about and learn from before we kind of move forward. And so that's what Sunday's sermon was about. He went from Acts 20 and 22, and he also brought from Romans 13. Something that was interesting was that the book of Romans was written during about the time frame of Acts 20, which is kind of interesting because if you look at what happens in the succeeding chapters after Acts 20, you can kind of get I'm skipping an ad. It's kind of the real life playing out of the philosophy that he is actually writing to the Romans about in the book of Romans, in Romans 13. So the philosophy that he shares to the Romans in Romans 13, he is actually living out in Acts chapters 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, and all that, over and over and over again. It's him being, it's him coming to or being brought before the ruling authority of the day or of the area, and having a discussion with them. And it was a very interesting sermon. I took a lot of notes actually. Let me see if I can just pull one line, if I can, and still do it justice. I don't know that I'll be able to do that, but. So the name of the sermon was The Story of Paul's Dissidence. And he used Acts 22, Acts 20, Romans 13, talking about it. The main structure of the sermon was the foundations of Paul's dissidence in Acts. Yeah, so that's the answer to that question. Thank you for asking, Ryan. I appreciate it. Strider, yep. Hey, Jesse is here. Hello, Jesse. TZ Gardner, I just played Twilight Inscription yesterday. Enjoyed it quite a bit. I've never played Twilight Imperium. Have you played Thoughts? I have played Twilight Inscription. The only time that I have played Twilight Inscription, it was at a demo at Gen Con, I think 2 years ago. And I really enjoyed myself. I loved the novelty of turning Twilight Imperium 4 into a roll and write, that made me interested anyway. But it is, well, gosh, I guess maybe it's like Twilight Imperium 4, but not really. Because you can do a lot of the same stuff, but it just doesn't feel the same. You're not playing an epic game, moving pieces around and battling and rolling combat dice or anything like that. It very much feels like a Euro version of Twilight Imperium 4, if that makes any sense. So I enjoyed it, but I bought it, but I haven't played it since I bought it, which is another thing that's probably speaking against it. But I want to. I just haven't had the chance to yet. Well, I haven't taken the chance to. There, let's put it that way. Our sermons can always be found on Grace City Church online. Yep, that's absolutely correct. You can find all of them online. I will definitely try to make one. Thanks. You are welcome, stupid rat creature. I'm calling you that because you named yourself that. That's it. The Pirate expansion added a crap ton of extra time. Well, thanks for sugarcoating it there, Jess. Appreciate it. I don't really like it when an expansion adds a lot more time. Yeah, there you go. Time for dinner. Talk to you all later. See you later, Vanessa. Have a good one. Thanks for the Pirates explanation. It sounds like it might add more complexity than MB would like. Yeah, that might be true. I think, as a matter of fact, Jesse even made that statement, if I'm not mistaken. She actually really enjoys Ostia, but she found Pirates to be frustrating because she wanted to continue to be able to do all of the stuff that the base game allows you to do, but Pirates kind of holds you back until you deal with the pirates themselves, which is thematic. But from a pure, do I like this gameplay or do I like this gameplay standpoint, I think she's definitely of the camp that she would rather just play the base game without the expansion. But that's hers. Interesting. Thanks, Sam. You're welcome, Ryan. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. So I don't know that I'm asking the right audience here, but what did you guys think of the Super Bowl? I myself did not have any skin in the game whatsoever. I could not have cared less who won. But as with any conflict, I want to pick a side. So I chose the 49ers because the 49ers used to have Mike Singletary as their coach. They used to have Jim Harbaugh as their coach. Both were Chicago Bears players that I grew up watching. So that was a connection to that. I also like Brock Purdy a lot. I like just what I've seen. I don't know the guy from Adam. He could be a completely different person behind doors. But from what the media has showed, I like this guy. So I wanted to see him succeed. So that's why I was rooting for the 49ers. My son Aiden just didn't want to see the Chiefs win again. So he wanted somebody else to win. So that's why he said he was rooting for the 49ers as well. I think it was a great game. I don't think that there's anything in the game. I did kind of, they were talking when I came into the it was when we started watching. It was right before the halftime show began, and the commentators were talking about how Kelsey was yelling at Reed and on the sideline, and I didn't like that so much. I don't know why he was yelling. I don't know what was going on. I don't know all of the context. I didn't watch the first half. But to have that graphic being shown of a player yelling at his coach, that rubbed me the wrong way. And I would imagine, no. I think he should publicly apologize to Reed for doing that, because it didn't look like he was saying anything nice at all. And I don't know what Reed had done or said or anything like that. So I'm not passing too much judgment. I just didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. And it was another reason for me to root for the 49ers through the second half of the game. But it was a good game. I wish it would have been a little bit more of a higher score. But even with it being a low score, I think it was still an exciting game to watch. I think it was, you didn't really see anybody that was being a jerk. I've seen that in the past where people are just a little bit too full of themselves, and I didn't see that a whole lot on the field last night. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's something I'm against. I'm against, people who are professional athletes out there acting like teenagers. And I say that carefully because I have teenagers. And unfortunately, teenagers watch what those guys are doing and use it as a reason to do the same thing on their fields, which is not cool. And that's one of the things I talk to my son about a lot is, be careful how you act when you're winning, because you need to remember how it feels when you're losing. And if you can remember how it feels when you lose, when you're winning, I think that means that you'll be a more gracious winner and not a sore loser. But unfortunately, we have a lot of athletes that just really like to rub it in your face when they do something good over you or through you or around you or whatever. And kids pick up on that, unfortunately. But I didn't see a whole lot of that last night. So that's what I was happy about. That's what I was happy about. I think it was just people doing their jobs well. Defense on both sides did their jobs well. Offense, for the most part, did their jobs well on both sides. Special teams did well. Blocked punt, you hardly never, a blocked extra point, you almost never see that. But they got up there and they got it done, which turned out to be the turn of the tide, because that would have been the 1 point that would have carried the 49ers over. So there's a lot of really clutch things in the game that I thought was really cool. Let's see here. Tom asked a question. I'll get back to that in just a minute, buddy. It was a good game. I was going for San Francisco, headed to dinner. Good night, y'all. See you later, Ryan. Take care. Kelsey was only throwing the ball one time in the first half. Okay, I get that, Brent. But who is he to demand to be thrown the ball? He is a player. And I don't care who you are. If you don't get thrown the ball, you better be doing your job anyway. And part of your job means not yelling at your coach on national television for impressionable young eyes to see and think, oh, see, it's okay. It's okay to yell at my coach. Nah, and I'm not talking to you, Brent. You were just telling me what happened. I get it. Thank you. But this is my reaction. If that's why he was yelling at Reed, you would, if I had been Reed, you might as well go ahead and have a seat, pal, because you're not going to get the ball thrown at you at all after what you just did to me. Go have a seat, pal. That would have been my reaction. So, and I know that there was a time in the game before the end of regulation when the Chiefs had a wide open receiver on the 3-yard line. He literally could have caught the ball and walked into the end zone. And because Mahomes tried to target Kelsey, who I think was being double teamed at the time, it was an incomplete pass. And the guy that was wide open in the middle of the field got pretty hot about it. And I get it, man. Adrenaline's running. I've been on the football field. I get it. I totally get it. But I was a high schooler, and these guys are grown men being paid millions of dollars to play football. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't expect too much of them, but I thought that was very poor form for Mr. Kelsey. Let's see here. Are there any games that are older, maybe 10 years or more, that you've wanted to play but haven't played yet? Off the top of my head, Tom, no, I can't really think of any. Well, there's one that always sticks in my mind, and it was like 10 years old back in the day when I originally got it. It's called Villainous Vikings, Voyage to Valhalla. It's by Victory Point Games. And everybody says that I don't know if it is anymore, but it used to be the Viking game for Viking game people that liked playing Viking games. So that's one that's, I know it's more than 10 years old, that I wish I could get to the table. And there are others, but I couldn't give you a real good list. Ryan says it was a good, oh, okay, I already read that. We switched loyalty, Tom said. We started out wanting the 49ers because of what you said. Then the commentator said if they won, they would tie the Steelers. So we can't have that, so we started rooting for the Chiefs. No, come on. One God 777. Thank you for your the $5. I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. You show up and do that so much. And I really appreciate it. So thank you very much so. David Brantley says, there are so many good old games. Zuloredo, Marco Polo, Mangrovia are fun. I still need to get Bruges, Cuba, and Ceylon to the table. Zuloredo is a game that I've recently thought about. I'd like to get that back to the table. So that would be added to the list, David. That's a good thing. Tom says, Chuck Noll would tell his players when they scored a touchdown to act like they have been there before. Right? Right? I mean, I get it. I mean, that's one side of it. But the other side of it is, it's exciting to score, especially in the Super Bowl. It's exciting to score those 6 points for your team because that is what you're being paid to do. You're paid to get that ball into the end zone. So I get it. I get the excitement, but I definitely know where Chuck Noll is coming from. I do not want, and it goes back to what I tell my son. Remember what it's like when that happens against you, and how you feel, and how dejected and how disappointed you are, and then to have somebody come and rub it in your face. Remember how that feels, so that when you're on the other side and you're the one that's doing the winning, you can do so graciously, because stuff like that people will remember. But who knows? Greetings from Portugal. Hatchim. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Good to see you. I appreciate you being here from Portugal. That's great. So that's my take on the Super Bowl. I wanted the 49ers to win because I have some tenuous connections to the team at best. So that's that. But I think the Chiefs played well. I think the Chiefs played hard. I think they did. They came back from being down. I heard the commentators say that the last 3 games they played, they were considered the underdogs. So they fought through and they battled through, and I think they deserve the win. I just wish Kelsey would have made better choices. Because he had to know, because of who his girlfriend is, because of how much of a clutch player that he is, that the cameras would be on him. And for him to act that way, I think, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it didn't send the message that I think it did, but I think it probably sent the message to a lot of younger players. Oh, see, it's okay to yell at my coach when I think I'm right. That's dangerous, bro. It's dangerous. And you know what? I don't want to be on a soapbox here for too long. I really don't, because I've made my own mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Oh my goodness. So I've had my times where I should have been better as a coach for a soccer team. And there have been times where I believe, and with all my heart, that I was righteously indignant when referees wouldn't make calls that I thought put my players in danger, and I let them have it. I've been kicked out of games as a coach, not as a parent, but as a coach, letting the refs know what I thought about the mistake they just made. So, and again, those are some times where I wish I could go back and kind of change what I did. So I am not trying to come down too hard on Kelsey, but at the same time, I do need to I feel the need, I guess, to say something about that. But, all right. With all that being said, Jesse, I was rooting for the 49ers just because I visited San Francisco. I've never visited Kansas City. That is as far as my loyalties went. The other tricky part is they did throw it to him in the second half, and he was clutch, so that adds to the message. I know. And tricky is the correct word to use for that. All right. So that is our reflections on the game. Now we're going to have a little bit of an unboxing. On Saturday, we got a box in, and it came in after our live Q&A. If it would have come in during our live Q&A, we would have opened it there. As it was, we got to open up a box from Bard Made Games, which was a neat little introductory type package from Isaac. So I did appreciate that, and we're going to be playing Expressions here in a little bit. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing him at Dice Tower West as well. We had a good time at PAX Unplugged in the airport playing games. So that was a good connection to make. Him, me, and Ormando played some games together as we were waiting for our flight to leave. This box, however, is pretty big. Ow! Oh, cardboard cut. Oh, hate those. Anyway, so there we go. I'm going to keep it away from the fire because we don't want to start anything. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and open up this box. And this box came in Saturday, and I've already opened it just to see what it was. But I knew who it was from, and so I just kind of just opened it to make sure. But I haven't taken it out anything else. So, oh, you hush over there, Strider. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to have, let me see, how am I going to do this? I'm going to put this back on the ground here. Ugh. And now we'll go down to the table. The table shot. Boom, boom, boom. And so we're going to go ahead and get this all open so that we can kind of show what's going on here. Yeah. All right, so we have, man, there is like, all right, so we have Queen Games has sent us a box of stuff to cover on the channel, and so we are very appreciative of their support of the channel in this manner of sending us some games that we can review and play and give some content about. Now, one of the things that he told me as I was talking to Travis at Queen Games, he said that I'm going to send you Copenhagen, the deluxe edition, and I am going to send you damaged stuff that we can't sell because they'll send it back. And he said there's probably going to be very little damage on the box. And as I'm looking at it, there is very little damage. There's a little bit of a crinkle right there, and there's a little bit of a crinkle right there. But I guess you anything. Tom has to go. See you later, Tom. Take care, buddy. I bet you anything that every single component on the inside of this bad boy is going to be just fine. So y'all people need to stop causing so much extra, because I know ding and dents are one thing. I know, I get it. You paid your money for it. You want it to be in pristine condition, but I'm telling you, it's not bad. Ooh, look at that. Anyway, all right, let's see here. What we got? Now, this is by Daniel Skold Peterson as Asger Harningranerud. Ooh. So these are popping out pretty nice. Wow, big, chunky boards. These are all popping out really nice as actually. I'm just going to go ahead and do all of this one board so that we can not have to worry about things. So that came out pretty well. Came out pretty well. Everything is off there. So that kind of gives you the idea of the quality of the board that they use. So good stuff, good stuff. Then we have more boards here. These look like, are they double? Yeah, they are. Whoosh. Bing on one side, ding on the other. So these look like they are going to be player boards. That looks pretty cool. And yellow on one side, blue and yellow on the other. So that's cool. I like it. You got anything else? No, it's just that. So you're getting the full effect now. This is a total unboxing. But anyway, you have the rule book here. Oh, it's got more than one. You got German and you have English over here, so the German can go over there because me no speak a German. So these look pretty stinking nice. All right, so that's that. We have a bag in here for something, who knows. And these are acrylic. Ooh. One of the cool things that I found about, wow, these are actually really nice. They actually have a texture on the front where you can actually feel the window panes and everything. Polyominols, I like it. I really like how this is looking. These are super nice. I really like the texture on them. So one of the cool things that I thought was neat about my discussion with Travis was the fact that, I'm just going to get a bunch of these out in my hand and see, so you can see how they look. These are really nice. These are really nice indeed. This is the deluxe version of Copenhagen, by the way. So these are very nice indeed. So you kind of get the idea. There's other shapes in here and so forth. A bunch of different kinds of bags. You have some, these are probably point markers of some kind. So you kind of get the idea, right? I'm just going to kind of put these back in there. I'm not going to try to get them back into the bag just yet. I will later. Don't you worry. I'm not going to be that guy. All right. See, here's the bag. I'm even putting some of them back in the bag right now. So I just, for time's sake, okay, that's all I'm doing. And there's some cards over here as well. Let's see. Come on. Come on, then. This does not want to come out. I'm going to use the trusty grapefruit knife to the rescue. Kind of. Gosh. Sometimes plastic can be so... These are the different shapes. Oh, cool. Ooh. That looks like... These just look like... these are just... Boom, 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 boom. Wow, that's like a little mini... So Captain Silver, Kobold, Tip Tap, Pioneers, Merlin, good game. Merlin Arthur, haven't played that one, that expansion yet. Pusha Monster, Expedition Luxor, Metro, Franchise. That's an interesting look. Fresco, Bastille, Escape, Skylands, Alhambra, Luxor. So that's a little bit of a, you just asked that question, that's why I went there. Tom said he has to go. See you later. Good, good, good. Sam, how many games do you have? Oof. Why must you ask such incriminating questions, Hatchim? I probably have, I would imagine, in the neighborhood of about 500 games right now. But that's just a guess. It's not really a definite. I haven't really put a whole lot of time into counting. But that has been Copenhagen Deluxe. So kind of gives you an idea. I like the look of this cover. I like this graphic. I just like it. But kind of gives you an idea of what the game looks like on the other side. 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, 20 to 40 minutes. So that's cool. Cool. Looking forward to getting that one to the table. Next one up, Stefan Feld. Oof, this is a heavy one. Stefan Feld, and this one is called Marrakesh. This is the Essential Edition. Copenhagen was the Deluxe Edition, and then you have the New York is going to be next, and that is the City Edition. And so basically, the difference between Deluxe and Essential is that this doesn't have all of the nice stuff in it like that one does, and it's just basically the long and the skinny of it. So Queen does these different editions, so that if you don't want all of those deluxe components and all the really nice stuff, if you just want kind of like the base game, then you can just get the Essential Edition or something to that effect, and you're not going to have to pay the extra money for those nicer components. You just have the basic stuff in here that you need to play the game. So the addendum, wow. All right, so you have the rule book on this side, and then you have so I'm assuming it also has expansions 1, 2, and 3 as well. So modular expansions, Staircase Tiles, Imam and Sultan, additional exchange offers, Spectators, and Desert Towns. So this comes with 5 expansions in it. That's a pretty cool thing as well. And I would imagine they're all modular. Wow, it's got a lot of stuff. Look at that setup. Ooh, that's neat. That is neat. Okay, all right, cool, cool, cool. I'm looking forward to this. This looks really neat. A game by Stefan Feld for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 years and up. Okay, well, there's a whole bunch of these things. Looks like just player markers in the different colors. A whole bunch of, looks like resource hexes, hexy cubes, I don't know what they're called. A bag, that's all cool. And this is a nice sized bag too. It's not small or anything like that. My entire hand was able to fit in there. I like the color. I like how colorful these 2 games have been so far. Oh my goodness, this is why. That thing, this thing, Man, look at all this cardboard. There's that big tower thingy. I don't even know what that is. I want to say it's probably a cube tower of sorts, but who knows? This looks really cool. I mean, there's so much here. I don't even know where to start. And I'm ripping it apart apparently. So let's try to make sure that I don't damage it too much. There we go. Now, let's see. Okay. Okay, so that came out. And I don't think that this is part of it either. So nothing has been damaged. It looked like it had, but nothing had been damaged. So this is coming out perfectly. See there? That's the actual component of the game. And these things have to be popped out as well. Like so. Neato Frito. Like that. So, you get it. Looked like I had been a stupido, but I wasn't. This is neat. A little river pops out too. Cool. So you get the idea, right? That just looks really bad. I'm gonna tear that off and tear that off here. And we'll throw that away. Blam. But anyway, you get it, I think. I'm going to try to put all this back in here so I can actually close this box up, because we do have one more that we need to unbox. But that's a lot of cardboard, y'all. Oh my goodness. I'm looking forward to it though. I like how colorful it is, and I like how it looks. I'm going to put these back in here just in case. Because I am that kind of person that worries about that kind of thing. So that is Marrakesh, the Essential Edition of Marrakesh. So I'm looking forward to that. Boom, bitty, boom, boom. And last but not least, we have one more, New York City from the City Collection for Queen Games. Ooh, I like it. I like the way that looks. This one is 1 to 4 players. So this one has a solo mode, 60 to 90 minutes. Not too shabby. Grapefruit knife slices that open like a warm knife through butter. And we come out. Mark Street is here. What's up, Mark Street? Hello, hello. Jessie says she thinks it's more like 550 to 600. Well, maybe. You never know. Mark Street, hope you're well, my friend. I am, Mark. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here, buddy. So, the New York City Collection. Oh my goodness, look at all that wood. Yellow, green, red, black, blue. These are all the player pieces. Wow. An extra baggie. 2 extra baggies. I was wrong. Let's skip that. 2 extra baggies. And we have some cards. Oh. Let's see what the cards say. Come on. Come on. There we go. Boom. And boom. You know, a grapefruit knife helps with these card packs, because these card packs are literally sometimes the bane of my existence. Okay, so looks like you have all of these different kinds of cards in here. White, green. Green is money. I guess that's people, maybe. Elevators? I have no idea. Blueprints, maybe. Cool. New York City 2. I don't know what that means. Oh, what is that? Oh, tickets, awards, maybe. Building contracts, maybe. I don't know. A wild. Hey, hey, hey. I like it. So far, so good. I like it. I think it's pretty neat. The rule book. They have an entire glossary. Okay, an addendum. Okay, all right. That's probably just for like using it. And that's a German rule book, so we don't need that. Here's the game rule book. Game from 1 to 4 players. Just to show the rule book a little bit. That's what a game looks like set up. So, looks interesting. And there looks like there's a lot of stuff here. So, we'll have to see how that goes. But I am excited. I'm excited to get this to the table. I think it's going to be a fun experience. Oh, we do have a board. So this is what the board looks like. Bam. So you got Jersey City, Manhattan, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. Interesting. I like it. A couple of things here. Different people. Looks like subway cars, ferries, buses, taxis. That looks interesting. Looks neat. Looks neat indeed. All right. Well, I'm going to put these in here just because I don't want cards flying around. Doesn't mean that they're going to stay in there when I organize the game later, but you get the idea, right? So that is the unboxing of a box of games that we got sent from Queen Games. So thank you, Travis Reynolds, for doing that. We appreciate your support of the channel. Absolutely. And we're going to get this back on here like that. Boom. And we're pretty much done with that unboxing. Nothing else going on here. There's nothing going on, Strider. You don't need to get all uppity. You can chill, dude. I know there's a dog barking out there. You don't need to be part of that dog. Let's see here. Just boring? Wow, I'm sorry. Did I bore somebody? Let's see. Good to see you, Sam. Bob Rock is here. Hello, Bob Rock. Good to see you, too. Mark, how's Colorado treating you? I left Colorado Springs over 2 years ago. It was becoming a big city and property taxes were following. Oof. These city games from Feld have two downsides. One is the look. I don't understand why did they go with this approach. Just boring. That's interesting. I didn't have that feeling. They were very colorful. Artwork is probably not what I would have wanted it to be, but they were very colorful. So I'm okay with that. Lay down. Hey, lay down. You stop. Lay down. Okay. We're trying to get him not to be all whiny and complainy when somebody walks in the house and he wants to go see them. We want him to be a little bit more controlled, but, you know, that's why I'm trying to get him to chill out. I have no idea what that is. Okay, let's see here. Curious Box. Hi Sam, which game is New York remaking? NY. Which game is New York remaking? That I don't know. Now I know what you're talking about because a lot of these are remakes, and I'm not savvy on that. That is something I'm going to be looking at and talking about while we actually play them and while we actually do it. But I haven't taken the time to do that research yet. So I'm sorry I can't answer that question, Pedro. I appreciate you asking it though. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Just boring. I disagree, Bob. But again, maybe you've played them and I haven't. So that's and you're absolutely okay to have that opinion. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they look bad. I don't think they look boring. But I haven't played them yet, so we'll have to see. Mark Street, doing well. I'm in Fort Collins, but yes, property taxes are on the rise, but I love it here. Well, that's cool to hear, Mark. Good to have you here. And second is terrible pricing, but that's Queen Games. I don't know anything about any of that. Sorry, Bob. Curious Box. Mark, love your previews, man, and your voice. Gotta love that voice, right? Thanks so much, Curious Box. Very much appreciated. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. My pleasure, my friend. Keep them coming. My house was worth what it was worth. What my house's worth was going up to 10 to 15% a year. Too much taxes were following. Wow, that sucks. I quite like the look of the city games. I do too. I'm not really sure what Bob's talking about, but again, that's his opinion, so he can absolutely have it. I'm saying that these are reprints of the games that looked better in their first editions. I get it. New York is Rialto. There you have it. That's it. I couldn't remember that name, but you are correct. I remember Travis saying that to me while we were talking. So that is correct. Marrakesh is a good one. I played 4 players. It's thematic. It's about the market. Cool. I'm very much looking forward to it. Curious Box, thank you, Pedro, for those €5. I appreciate it. Very much so. Thank you so much. I agree. I like the look of the city games as well, Mark says. There you go. Well, but I think Bob has kind of redefined what he said. He thinks that the original looks of the games looked better than these reprints, and I can understand that. I have felt that about many different companies over the course games over the course of the years. Coliseum was one. Super liked the original version better than the reprints. What else? If I'm just looking here, Fire and Axe is another one. Really liked the original version much better than the darker version that IDW and Pandasaurus came out with. Those are the two. But Mission Red Planet, I think this reprint was much better looking than the original. So that's that. I think I also enjoyed the original Cleopatra. I think Cleopatra, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't seen the new version of Cleopatra yet. Maybe that hasn't come out yet. I can't remember. But there have been a lot of games where the reprint just didn't hold the same amount of water as the, Atlantis Rising, the Elf Creek Games version was much better than the original. So it just depends. Let's see. Worst offender is the reprint of Bruges. New one is Hamburg. Castle of Burgundy, the first version, looks better. Interesting. Let's see here. Let's see, I did the unboxing, which is what I wanted to do, and then, hey, what are you supposed to be doing? Hey, lay down. Lay down. Okay, that will work. He's kind of half sitting and half laying down on when we go out of this room, there's a step up and then another step. He's laying like the front half of his body. He's got his paws and his legs on the front part. So he's kind of cocked up. So he's like half sitting, half laying down. That's why I said that'll work, because he's not really laying down the way he should. And now he really isn't, because somebody's just on the other side of that door, and he really, really, really wants to go say hi. Hey. I know. Lay down. Lay down. All the way. Good boy. Stay. He's not going to stay. Just the way it is. He is still very much a puppy. He just got up again. So I think that's about that. I'm going to have to go. Okay, Sam, have you played new edition of Shipyard? Nope, haven't. Don't know why, but I think you would love that game, Shipyard. I will make a note of that. Let me get my notebook here. Wow, I need to go through these pages real quick. All right, Shipyard. Come on, there we go. Shipyard. Give that one a try. Let's see, Sam, speaking about cities, you need to try Evora by João Quintela Martins and Meeble Games, who did Bot Factory with Vitella Serta. All right, Evora. Evora. Great to see you, Sam. Good to see you too, Mark. Have a great week. You too, buddy. Hey, when are you going to Dice Tower West? Mark, answer me if you can before you leave. If you can't, because you've already left, understood. I'll just text you later. But I'm just wondering if you're going to Dice Tower West this year. So okay, I've got Evora and Shipyard I need to look into. I will do that. You can go ahead and let him out. Yeah, there you go. That works. You can let him out. Boom. Ah, we forgot to do that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll do it tomorrow. Love you too, buddy. Sure hope so. Working on it. Cool. I'll probably see you there. Hopefully you will. You get no gang symbols. What's wrong with you? Get out of here, Whitey. Weird. Love you too. All right, gonna get going here. The fam is home, so I got to start doing stuff on that end, and then I'll be doing some more editing later on tonight. It's another thing I was working on today is doing my first review back at the Dice Tower. That's coming on Wednesday. 3 p.m. I believe Eastern time. 3 p.m. Eastern time is when that's going to be going up. So I got to get it edited today and tomorrow and get it uploaded and ready to go. But thank you very much, Mark. Please do keep me posted. I'd love to hang out with you, play some games. We didn't get to play any game. Well, we got to play last time when you were there. We got to play the Netflix Viking game, The Last Kingdom, and that was fun. That was fun. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Sam. Miss you, man. Good to see you, Bob. Good to see you. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully this was an enjoyable experience for you, as it was for me. We'll come back tomorrow with a... Oh, there's going to be a preview, Kickstarter preview coming up tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And that's going to be of Philharmonics. So you can take a look at that and see if you want to go check out their campaign that's running. Again, my previews are just basically unbiased, non-opinionated commercials for these games. So basically, I'm going to show you the game. It's a prototype version of the game, of course, and explain the different mechanisms that are in there. But then from that point, it's up to you. Whether you want to go back it or not, you can go check out their campaign and see what they have. But Arcona Games, Milan Tasevsky, I believe is his last name. He's a good guy. I've known him for quite some time. Been acquainted with him for quite some time. He's a good guy. I like him. So, but check out Philharmonics. That's going to be posting tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'll probably do something. I I don't know exactly what yet. I'll have to, my focus is really getting these reviews and videos for the Dice Tower edited these first couple of days. But I will try to be online tomorrow as well, tomorrow afternoon, around the same time. So we'll see you then. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you guys and gals right here on the flip side. Take care. Hello. Hello, Adrian. Good to see you. Took me by surprise. First tiny epic game I really did enjoy. Oh, what was that talk? What were you talking about? Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh, shipyards. I bet you. Okay, cool. I'll look at it.